So much, Ian. It is 85 days to the beginning of FIFA Women's World Cup 2011. Ian, by the way, calling his second match of the day. Had the West Ham Man U match earlier today on ESPN2. USA and England, and here to talk about that today, you all know Tony DeCicco, of course, head coach of the United States national team, 2 World Cup championships, that first Olympic gold back in 1996, and for so many years, Brianna Scurry defined goalkeeping at the international level, an Olympic champion and a world champion. It is great to have you here, and you and I will be colleagues this summer in Germany. I'm certainly looking forward to that. That'll be great. Let's talk, Tony. We all know the U.S. national team had to claw its way through the home and home against Italy into this World Cup. So here we are, beginning of 2011. How big a test, and why is this a big test for the United States?
Well, it's a big test, Bob. USA is playing a FIFA-ranked top 10 team. They're playing a European team, and they're playing in Europe, and that's where the World Cup is held this summer. So this is a big test for the USA. Are they past the challenges and the question marks that we saw this fall?
Let's get right to the lineups, and Bri, take a look at the USA grid and what you think the big test will be for the USA tactically as we see the team that Pia Sundhage will put out there today.
I think the biggest test for the U.S. today will be if their midfield is able to control Kelly Smith. I think Shannon Box and Carly Lloyd, although Carly has the green light to go forward, it'll be crucial for her to get back and for Shannon to be able to control that midfield.
And Tony, for the English side, we all, of course, know about Kelly Smith. Whom else should we be watching today?
We need to watch Faye White and Casey Stoney in the middle of the defense. They have to be good. They have to contain the USA attack.
England, they're in the World Cup. They're on the other side of the draw or the grid from the United States, but the USA ranked #1 in the world. Are they the best team? We will have an idea of where they stand, having won 2 tournaments already in China and in Portugal this year. We're off to East London on the other side of the break.
That's the scene in East London tonight, the home of Leyton Orient Football Club. They used to play in the top flight in England, and this season actually held Arsenal to a draw in the FA Cup. Tonight, the USA women, and there's a big fight, of course, for places in the side on the way to the World Cup, Julie, isn't there?
Oh, no question. And a great game for the United States and for England. Talking to Hope Powell right before the match, she said it's a good chance for us to get a look at some players, and she's been tinkering a lot, Coach Powell of the England side, at the Cyprus Cup, which they just got done with in March, and so she's trying to nail down those final roster spots going just under 3 months into heading to Germany for the World Cup.
Which is pretty tense for the players, of course. I was amazed to find out this is the first time the USA women's team have ever played in England in 27 years of the women's program.
I know, it is amazing, actually. And we've played them 10 times, 5 different countries, never in England before. So, and of course, Ian, as you know, England is the home of soccer. And so it's nice to be here and play in front of English fans.
Sometimes that fact is disguised quite well at major tournaments, as you might have seen in the summer at the World Cup. So the 2 teams on their way here. England against the USA. I think this is a friendly, but it's not going to be played as a friendly. This is going to be pretty feisty stuff, I think.
No question. They are going to be in battling for positions. They're fighting for that starting spot and getting into the roster and trying to hold it.
Time now for the just up the road to Leyton Orient for tonight's match.
A lovely day of football, Ian. What a treat. What a treat for me to see that game this morning as well. 2-0 down at the half, and Man U comes back to win it 4-2.
They'll be thinking you're the lucky omen after that. Wayne Rooney hat-trick.
I'm going to have to come every week, apparently. Happy to do so.
Be happy with your air miles if you do. But important business here for the US team, who are unbeaten in their last 52 friendly matches. Can you believe that?
Only have lost 3 games since the last World Cup in 2007, and so very successful team that knows how to win even when they're not playing their best. Just coming off winning the 4 Nations Cup in China, just coming off winning the Algarve Cup in Portugal. A good start to the 2011 year after a tough qualification process, which Tony talked about at the top of the show.
England in the all-white strip, kicking us off here tonight. All the players, by the way, tonight wearing black armbands. That's in memory of a family friend of the English defender Casey Stoney, which is a nice touch, recognised by all the players of both sides. England have had one or two disappointments since qualifying for the World Cup, losing to Canada and Scotland. And they'll be looking to claim a major scud. They haven't beaten the USA since 1988, and only twice in history. The USA definitely start favourites, don't they, here, though, Julie?
They do. But it's not surprising, actually, that England seems to attack the left side of the United States right away. That seems to be a position the United States has been having some trouble filling as of late. Amy Lepelbet has stepped in at left back for this game.
Here's Kelly Smith with a chance early on. Good goalkeeping there by Nicole Barnhart, who starts. Hope Solo, who's been injured for so long, hasn't played since last July. She will come on in the second half, we're told. But that was an important contribution early from Barnhart.
Came off her line well and early.
It's Lepelbet getting in a little bit of a mess. She's still learning that left-back position, of course, playing central defence in the playoff matches against Italy, which were a real knife-edge ride, really, for the American side, who thought they'd qualify for the World Cup much easier.
And there's another good look at the chance. Nice early look for Kelly Smith. They want to see her active for England, of course, because when she's on her game, boy, England often follows, as we talked about before.
Played forward by Rachel Unit. By the way, these two sides did meet in a sort of practice match, which I watched the other night in Kent on a muddy surface at Bromley. The USA won that by 2-0, but it must be said that England played something of a shadow squad. Not many of those who are in action here tonight. The USA in the World Cup, drawn against North Korea, Colombia, newcomers to the competition, and Sweden. And of course they will be among the favourites, though Germany and Brazil will take some beating along the way. England with a good start here, though, applying most of the early pressure. Is Alex Scott trying to pick up the run of Jess Clark down that side.
And this is something you're going to see consistently tonight. Alex Scott, the right back for England, she loves to attack and get forward.
There's Pia Sundhage, the coach, who in matches in Europe is unbeaten as the American coach since she took over. She won't want that run ending tonight. Here's Yankee making a run down that side. This is Farrah Williams, who scored in both of the playoff games against Switzerland. Again, Kelly Smith was the target. Jess Clark, one of the new players, not able to quite keep it in play. Not effectively, anyway. And here's Rapinoe. Playmaker, Carly Lloyd, top scorer in this calendar year for the USA. Because another interesting story tonight is Abby Wambach, the US striker, who hasn't scored in the last 377 minutes, despite her phenomenal goal-scoring record for the US.
She averages a goal every 99 minutes, which truly is phenomenal, and has been nursing a bit of a heel injury, Achilles tendonitis, so struggling with that a little bit.
Just playing her way back to fitness. Her start tonight, she only came on in the second half, didn't she, for most of that recent tournament in the Algarve. So they're taking it easy with her, aren't they?
And she's chomping at the bit to score, though. She's well aware how many minutes. I said, how many games has it been yesterday? She goes, 6. Right away.
Not that she was counting, of course. She goes another 45 minutes. It will be her biggest goal drought for the USA. This is Rachel Yankee, who's going to take the corner kick here for England.
And on the back post for England, the twin towers of Jill Scott, Faye White.
Turned over by Jess Clark there. That could easily have been an opening goal for England.
Here's another good look at it. They're going to drive it near post. She's just going to try and get a flick on it. And unfortunately for the United States, Carly Lloyd just skips right through her legs. Unlucky for England that they can't put it on frame there, because that's so dangerous right in the front. Another good look in the first 5 minutes for England.
Carly Lloyd helping that one forward. Here's Casey Stoney, experienced defender for England winning her 88th cap tonight. USA. O'Reilly crossing the ball in. It's Farrah Williams, who's a good player, who plays in the midfield. Watch her getting forward as well. Highly rated. And here's Yankees switching this time to the right-hand side. Well cleared by Rachel Bueller, alias the Bulldozer. She quite likes the nickname, apparently, too. Maybe not everybody would.
She tackles quite hard, so I have a feeling that's where it came from. And a good test early on for Amy Lepelbit at left back for the United States, because she, as you just mentioned, Ian, she's not familiar with that left-sided position. Not left-footed. She played center back in college. She's played it professionally. There's a good look at the English coach, Hope Powell. So really testing to see where they can go, because Pia Sundhagen, coach of the United States, said yesterday she really wants to see her on the field, just not sure where she's going to fit in.
One back lays it back. Here's Carly Lloyd, who's in pretty good form at the moment, be an important player for certain. Then Shannon Box, very, very experienced in the central midfield pair, that engine room for the USA. They haven't really got going early on here, though.
No, seem to be finding their footing a little bit. Maybe a little bit nervous to be playing in Europe.
And that's where they're going to have to play the World Cup, and the crowds will be pretty huge, I think, in Germany. We've heard already that 60,000 tickets have been sold for Germany's opening game of the tournament.
500,000 for the tournament so far. You know they're going to put on a good show there in Germany.
Scott lays it inside. And Jill Scott, there are two, not related. This is another experienced player, Rachel Unit, the left back. Farrah Williams with a very clever ball down the side. Kelly Smith's waiting in the middle here, and Ellen White attacking. Still might be some danger. Smith is in there. Can England take the lead here? Yes, they can. It's Jess Clark, and the US are behind and pay the penalty for a shaky start.
England has been pressing, and they've been pressing, and it ends up on Jess Clark's favored right foot. Good little ball in by Jill Scott. And you can see United States unable to clear. Amy Lepelbit unable to clear it, and a good finish by Jess Clark. She likes that right foot. Kelly Smith actually does well to shield her out of the way. Lepelbit unable to clear. And there is Jess Clark in with her right foot. A good finish.
So 6th goal for England. She's only 21, one of the newer breed. Plays for the Lincoln Ladies Club. And that will be a big moment for her, scoring against the USA. She's been part of the system from the under-15 age group. Now, can the USA find a rhythm here and strike right back? That is a stunning blow for them early on. There's no question about that. Here's a free kick routine they've worked on from the training ground. It might be Carly Lloyd. It might be Shannon Box that hits it.
I'm guessing Carly Lloyd's going to take one of these early. She's going to want to crack at this.
She can hit them too. Well blocked. England playing very, very well. Is Megan Rapinoe. And that one's been knocked almost out of the ground by Farrah Williams. New professional league starting in England as the game gathers momentum, the women's game. And it's been quite slow to really be launched in England. 3 times they failed to even qualify for the World Cup. Leading 1-0 here, though. Can the USA strike back? Rapinoe, and it's not a threat.
See Abby Wambach on that back post, always a target for the United States because she's so dangerous in the air. But this actually is a pretty consistent trend for the United States as of late, and starting slow in their games. It was a real problem in qualifiers and World Cup qualifiers in the fall against Italy in the playoff, home and away. So how they respond to it will be a great test for the United States.
Maybe they're taking their cue from the men's team. They're slow starters as well, quite often. It's a good piece of hold-up play by Wambach, who's on the chase here. If it'll hold up now. Claimed by the American-born goalkeeper Karen Bardsley, who plays for the Sky Blue club in the USA in New Jersey.
A lot of American goalkeepers the United States has been facing as of late.
Ellen White, again Clark waiting in the middle. White elected to shoot. It might not have been the right option.
Good early rhythm, though, with Kelly Smith, Ellen White. Here you're getting a good look at the 21-year-old, plays for the Arsenal ladies. So much hype and buzz around her right now. Number 9, Ellen White for England.
Nina Rodriguez's touch didn't quite work. This is quite a good test for the United States here. I think you can see early on here that England have improved quite a lot and look a fairly useful side.
Yeah, very good. And you can see there's no one yet on the American side. Rapinoe there showing a little frustration. No one yet that's settling the game down and saying, all right, it's okay. Let's get it together here.
England's only 2 wins over the United States in 1985 and 1988, a long, long time ago. Probably too long to be relevant. Farrah Williams knocks that ball on its head forward by Rachel Yankee, then Ellen White. England using Kelly Smith, very much their star player, just behind the front two. That's the system they like to play. 4 defenders, 2 holding midfield players, Kelly Smith ahead of them, and then 2 strikers. Alex Scott. Well, the free kick is given, and that looked a little harsh, I must say, for the United States, that one.
And I think that's actually the perfect position for her, because she shoots out of a little bit deeper seam than playing back to pressure when she's playing up top. Hard to mark, so crafty on the ball.
There's the lively Jess Clark, and Rachel Yankee as well. It's her left foot to in-swing it. There it goes, an awful long way there. They're claiming an offside. The flag was up, in fact, so had there been any contact, that would not have counted as a goal. ESPN's presentation of US Soccer brought to you by Allstate. Protecting families with life insurance for over 50 years. Are you in good hands? Christy Rampone, cap number 234 for her tonight. That's incredible. Although Julie sitting alongside me has 272. Just 272.
I don't have 2 young girls to go with it as well while I was playing. I waited until after you. It's amazing.
It is amazing. The ball did stay in play there. Amy Rodriguez is on the near post, poaching, looking for something here. Hacked away by Jill Scott. Not far, though. Here's Shannon Box. Californian. Such a steadying presence in the midfield. Megan Rapinoe. Palbert back in for Amy Rodriguez. Just not really settled yet, I think it's fair to say, the US side.
No, but the one thing you know about the United States team is they're going to keep chipping away. Even when they're not playing their best, they're a team with a ton of fight. Always has been a staple with the US team.
This, by the way, is the first time that England have led against the USA, let alone beating the USA, since 1988. The last time the 2 sides met was at the 2007 World Cup in the quarter-final. The USA won that game by 3 goals to 0. So the USA have never trailed in their last 8 matches against England.
I do think it helps as well that you have players now in the United States playing against them. You have Kelly Smith, you have Anita Asante, Karen Bardsley, who plays for Sky Blue, Aluko, and so they're more confident in how they can match up against the United States because they're more familiar with them.
I think there's greater research as well. Now they're seeing a concertinaing of standards, I think, in the world women's game as it grows, and catches on. Better intelligence. Players, of course, getting fitter, more knowing all the time. Interesting, though, isn't it?
It's great. It's great for both teams to see how they can handle a lead, how they can handle the pressure of having to come back on the road in Europe for the United States.
It's Farrah Williams, who plays for the Everton ladies' side.
I always love these tests like 2-3 months out from a World Cup, especially when you face some adversity, because it says so much about a team.
I'm sure that Pia Sundhage is thinking exactly that. She'll find out a little bit about the character of the side here in situations like this. Ali Krieger, who plays football or has been playing in Germany recently, and speaks fluent German. The right back looked very good the other day, but she's got a test here with the England wingers looking particularly threatening early on. Jess Clark, that's not going to be a problem. Nicole Barnhart. Yeah. Jess Clark, the goal scorer. Heather O'Reilly keeps the ball in play on the right-hand side. Chipped forward here, and that's offside against Abby Wambach this time. It's a heel injury that she's been suffering from, and it's been slow to clear. They're having to manage the injury all the time. It's a bit of a worry, isn't it? It
is a bit of a worry. You could see Abby was indeed offsides there, but she says it's just, she thinks the pounding, constant pounding, so she's trying to be a little bit smarter about how much she goes, how many minutes. I don't think she'll get 90 probably tonight. She didn't play in the closed-door match the other day.
Covering to be done here. This time by Beulah. Kelly Smith trying to get on the ball. They're very, very quick to try to close her down. They know that she is very dangerous by way of orchestrating trouble.
You can see it's still a little bit choppy for the United States. Heather O'Reilly took what I think was one of her first touches of the game right there. So not much you're seeing from the wing midfielders or much interaction between the midfield and the front line for the United States yet.
So a free kick here, what is this, about 25 yards out, and it struck the top of the bar there. It's good effort from Jill Scott.
And here's one where Barnhart really should have an easy look at it, but it doesn't seem like she got a piece of it there. Farrah Williams striking it pretty well, but Nicole Barnhart being so tall, that should be an easy save. She did get a piece of it.
Lapalbet switched to left back, remember, towards Rapinoe, who's under a little bit of pressure for a place, or maybe from Tobin Heath, who showed up well in that practice game the other day. Here's Carly Lloyd. We haven't seen the best of her yet. They're very, very quick to close her down. Free kick. She was fouled.
And here's a great opportunity for the United States to get a little momentum. They're always so dangerous on free kicks.
And they just need maybe a reason to believe a little at the moment. The American women's side. Rapinoe to play it in. That could have been caught, as it is. The shot from Lapalbet took a deflection behind for a corner.
Yeah, Bardsley probably could have held on to that. She didn't quite get a hold of it when she tried to box it. Didn't clear it as well. And now the United States gets another look on goal. You're going to see on that back post, you're going to see Shannon Box, Abby Wambach.
Here comes the corner. That's a better one this time. It's gone an awful long way. Box playing it back in. Rapinoe. England defending it well. All this trouble caused by the fact that Karen Bardsley didn't catch what looked like a pretty easy catch, and then Amy Rodriguez, A-Rod as she's known to all the players, over the bar.
And there's another good look at it. Amy Rodriguez just trying to get something on it. Pretty hopeful, actually.
Don't forget, Saturday, April the 16th, ESPN Deportes brings you one of soccer's top rivalries. It's Barcelona with Lionel Messi against Real Madrid with Cristiano Ronaldo. Coverage of El Clasico presented by Bud Light, beginning at 3 Eastern, 2 weeks from today. One definitely not to be missed. Williams wants the ball played in. Here she is, and quite influential in that midfield role. This is Rachel Unit, the left back. Williams again, looking to play a 1-2, and they've got a free kick here around the edge given by Sian Messier, referee who's hit the headlines in the Premier League this season. It all ended with the sacking of a couple of major broadcasters.
She has garnered quite a lot of attention.
She has. She's been under the spotlight. None of it her fault, it should be said.
Another good opportunity for England, using the flanks really well. Rachel Unit, the left back, all the way in the attacking third.
Again, Jill Scott, who hit the bar just now. Played in towards the back post. Something to ponder for Pia Sundhage, going into her first World Cup as the US coach. These are tense times, really, for the players. One thing they definitely don't want to be doing is getting injured or anything like that this late in the build-up. It's away by Christy Rampone.
There's a good look at the midfield three for England. Jill Scott, Farrah Williams on the ball right there. Kelly Smith in a triangle, playing in that 4-3-3, and a great opportunity for Jill Scott on the ball right now.
Here's Clark.
Great opportunity for her because Katie Chapman just announced a possible retirement with the English team. 2 young sons, said it was too hard to manage family, playing professionally, playing for England. She was kind of their destroyer in the midfield, and now you've got Jill Scott, number 8 for England, stepping into that role. Has done well today, I think, so far in this first 20-25 minutes.
And she's looked good in that. Of course, Christy Rampone manages okay. She had maternity leave from the side last year, but I've noticed the 2 children are with her on this trip.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard balance. And, you know, the United States is a bit fortunate because Christy, there's other players on the team that have had kids. She's gets great support from the Federation in terms of child care, child support. And Katie Chapman is really the only one on the English team in such a situation.
Here's Carly Lloyd, looking to make something happen for the USA, who need to find a way back into this side, but the ball is surrendered rather easily, in all honesty. Forward by Jill Scott. And Ellen White, not penalised for the challenge, won the ball back. Scott again. And then Farrah Williams from distance, and held by Nicole Barnhart this time. You have to say, so far, England have been the better side.
They have been. They've been taking it to the United States. They're getting their outside backs forward, their midfield, even with just 3 playing against 4 for the United States in midfield, seems to be dominating. U.S. just unable to get a rhythm.
This is Rachel Yankee. Good-looking idea to try to pick up the run of Ellen White. Youngster playing in that central striker.
And there has been so much talk about Ellen White for England, 21-year-old. They compare her to Wayne Rooney, the way she plays. Say she's a little pit bull. She just goes fearless, fast.
Amy Rodriguez with Abby Wambach waiting in the middle. She can go for this one in the air. Goalkeeper elects to punch. It worked. And England looking to build again. Here's the playmaker, Kelly Smith, who plays, of course, for the Boston Breakers club. Lots of room for her to move into. And she carries on. Look at the room out here for Rachel Yankee. And what a goal! England are 2-0 up. Tremendous strike from Rachel Yankee. And the US are in trouble here now.
And this is where Kelly Smith is just so dangerous. She takes this ball. You're going to see Alex Scott on her right-hand side, pulling lapel bit wide. And instead of going right, she pulls all the defense in and finds Rachel Yankee. And what a finish that is. Rachel Yankee, known for her left foot. And she can strike a ball, sets it up sweetly on her left foot. Nothing Barnhart can do about that one when that's in the upper corner. But great job by Kelly Smith setting up this whole play. And the United States just unable to deal with the pressure that England is putting on them right now.
Absolutely tremendous goal by Rachel Yankee, who plays for England's most successful club in women's soccer, Arsenal. She's winning her 108th cap tonight, the 31-year-old. She will not have scored many better goals than that one. Now, what does Pia Sundhage do about this? This is a pretty worrying performance so far from the USA. You'd have to say they need to improve. They're capable of it. O'Reilly with a lovely piece of play. Good wing play from her. Out to Amy Lepeldet.
You have to give England credit, too, for the pressure they're putting the United States under. They're just not able to handle it right now. Transition is very good. They're putting pressure on the ball as soon as they lose it. Abby's had just a few touches. Amy Rodriguez, not many up top for the United States. Heather O'Reilly, only a few.
Well, it may be another job, mightn't it, for Alex Morgan by the time we're through the super sub. But they might need a little bit more than that. Hope Powell must be absolutely delighted by this display against one of the top-ranked sides, well, the top-ranked side in the world, the USA.
And you could sense that they were brimming with confidence, because even in that last closed-door scrimmage, which they lost 2-0, and they played all the reserves, England said, you know what? We're okay. We're good. We feel good about that loss because we had all our reserve team in and we still played very well against the United States.
Played in towards the back post, and that could have ended up being an own goal. As it is, it's gone for a corner. Just a bit of a misunderstanding there.
I think two of them try and clear it at the same time. Faye White eventually gets the header on it, as she often does.
She's the tallest of the central defenders. The USA needs something here, really, to get a foothold in this game. Again, England defend it well. This would be one of the biggest results England have ever pulled off in women's soccer if they could hold on to it. That's a big if, I'd say. A lot of time left.
As we saw earlier today, Ian.
Yes, we did. Seen one game today where one side were 2-0 up and ended up losing it 4-2. That was West Ham going to Manchester United. I hope you caught that with us earlier on from the Barclays Premier League.
You've earned your wages today.
And you.
I just did little bits and bobs.
And everybody...
You ran the show.
Yeah, everybody watching is saying, what are they talking about? They're just watching soccer. That's fun. It is too.
It was. What a great day. Popping between London grounds.
Luckily for us, both of them in the east of the city. Later on, Arsenal held to a goalless draw by Blackburn Rovers, in case you hadn't heard that result, those of you who follow the game in England.
Their chance to catch up. Squandered. They still have a game in hand, though.
Shannon Box looking to spread the play, but that hasn't worked out either. It's been a bit of a nightmare this first half for the USA. Of course, they had that stunning setback which sent reverberations around women's world soccer. The loss to Mexico in qualifying, which ended up, of course, having to play that two-leg affair with Italy just to make it to the finals. And it's not really very effectively cleared by Bula. It's come to Kelly Smith again. She set up that second goal. Wombat goes down. Challenge from Joel Scott, the tall midfield player.
Good opportunity in these last 15 minutes for the United States to say, okay, let's pull one back before halftime. Let's gain a little momentum for that second half.
The 2011 FIFA Women's World Cup's almost here. A reminder that coverage begins on June the 26th on ESPN, ESPN2 and ESPN3.com. Every match live. I think England must be pinching themselves with this scoreline so far. It's going to give them enormous belief.
There's a good example right there, Boxy. Shannon Box and Kelly Smith going head-to-head, and the United States not getting the call. You can see the frustration. Ball's just not bouncing their way.
Farrah Williams with Kelly Smith, who is England's leading goal scorer. She runs over it. Williams hits it. Not a bad effort at all.
She's not afraid to take those from distance. That's the second one Farrah Williams has put on. Tried to put it right on target. First one she hit like this, Barnhart had to tip over the bar. Probably a bit ambitious. Nicole Barnhart known to do very well from outside. Tough to beat her from that range.
Rampone. Krieger getting it away. She's probably in pole position to take the right back position at the moment, though there'll be plenty of places maybe up for grabs. This Carly Lloyd, very elegant midfield player. And then O'Reilly. It's gone behind that goal, right onto the roof of the Leyton Orient stand. I don't think they'll be getting that ball back in a hurry.
A little bit better by the United States, though, Ian. They connected a few more passes. You can see they're still having some pressure. There it is, stuck up there.
Somebody's going to have to go up there and get that down.
It's not going to be me.
No, looks like a risky business. I think I'll just leave it there. Kelly Smith again. She saw the goalkeeper off her line and tried a lob. It didn't work out, but that's the quick thinking she's capable of.
Yeah, and that she looks up, has the presence of mind to look up. Where's the goalkeeper? You can see her take a glance. Just didn't execute. But you can see the pressure that England's putting the United States under with their three forwards. Ellen White, who's in the center. Kelly Smith's coming in from that deeper role in midfield. They're all pressing hard. They're not dropping into a 4-5-1 and letting the United States play out of the back.
Question of how Pia Sundhage deals with this tactically at half-time. She has a lot of talking and thinking to do. Several of the England players, by the way, have also been put on central contracts now, which is another sign that the game is advancing in England after some disappointing times, though England did reach the European Championship final in 2009. They were hammered 6-2 by Germany in the final, but they did make the final. Alex Scott bouncing dangerously over to that far side. Here's Kelly Smith again, combining very, very well. Jess Clark, corner.
And this is a younger side you've got with the English team. I mean, Jess Clark, who scored the first goal for England, 21 years old. Ellen White, 21 years old. You're seeing some fresh faces out there, and they're playing with confidence.
You've got a good young defender called Sophie Bradley as well, we may see later on. That's difficult for Barnhart. Well, not too difficult in the end, in all honesty. Hope Solo out for so long with the shoulder injury, due to come on for the second half. That might be interesting for her to come on in this situation against an England side who do look a threat.
Yeah, we had a good chat with her yesterday. She said it's been such a hard recovery, the 6 months, but she's finally feeling like she's strong. Her shoulder's coming back. She just needs minutes.
Gula will go for a goal kick this time.
You got to love that about 21-year-olds. They're willing to chase everything. You know, at about 30, you go, okay, I'm not going to get that.
Well, they're very, very fit, aren't they?
They can run all day.
The recklessness of youth as well, some would say. Lepelbet, bit of a miscue from her. Defence has just looked a little shaky at times tonight for the USA. Rapinoe not really got into the game. Heather O'Reilly a little more on the other side, but not enough. And Box and Lloyd not able to exert their usual control in central midfield either. This is Yankee looking to help it forward. Carly Lloyd out of play this time. Next Saturday, ESPN's coverage of Major League Soccer continues as Thierry Henry, Juan Agudelo and the New York Red Bulls take on the Philadelphia Union. That's at 7 p.m. on ESPN2. Good start to the season for MLS. Charlie Davis with 3 goals already. What an amazing story that is.
It is indeed. We got to sit down with him the other day, actually, Ian.
Well, he's lucky to be alive, isn't he?
Yeah, he was quite impressive. No even residual pain he was talking about from all the different injuries. It was a fascinating interview.
Good luck to him, I say. He's been through a lot. Got out wide by Farrah Williams. That's a nice, clever ball from her again as well. Clark switching wings quite cleverly. That cross is just a little too long for Ellen White, who's made a very good start to her international career with 5 goals in her first 12 matches. It's a sort of Alex Morgan type record.
And you're seeing that England much more comfortable with that 3 in the middle. Just unable for Carly Lloyd and Shannon Box, as you mentioned earlier, Ian, to get a hold of the game and say, all right, let's settle this down somehow.
By the way, the US women's team in their entire history have never found themselves 3 goals down at half-time. That could happen here, because here's a shot not far away from Kelly Smith. It's all England this first half. It really is a tale of the unexpected we're watching here.
And you can just see the confidence in Kelly Smith. The way, the balance she has on the ball. I mean, this is what I've loved watching over the years. We've seen her do at Seton Hall. We saw her do at Philadelphia with the WUSA. Now in Boston with the Breakers.
She knows a lot of these American players, can give a fair bit of intelligence to the coach.
She has. She's played most of her adult career in the United States.
Yeah. Megan Rapinoe. On and in. Super goal. Gets the USA back into the argument. It's Rapinoe. They didn't close her down, and she's buried it into the corner of the net.
And I love this, because look at the initiative she takes on this. First time we've seen her face up and really attack, and she goes at them. She says, I'm going to take this myself, and this is more the Megan Rapinoe we're used to seeing. Strikes it so well. Karen Bardsley tries to get a hand on it, but she's going to take it herself. Goes at the defense. They never step to her. No one comes off that line. And if you're going to give her to the 18, she's at about the 22 there. She's going to take that. Great finish by Megan Rapinoe to get the United States against the run of play back in the game.
And that just a minute or so after England nearly made it 3-0. Different game now. Yankee giving Krieger a hard time on that far side. That was the 10th international goal, by the way, for Megan Rapinoe, the guitar-strumming winger. She's pretty good as well.
She was. I saw that.
Yeah.
On their Studio 90. She has a voice as well. She was willing to bust it out there. I only do that in the shower.
So you're going to be buying her new album. Good goal, wasn't it? Low and hard into the corner. That's always going to give the goalkeeper plenty of problems. So the USA, that will just lift everybody, including the coach.
Yeah, what an important goal that is. As you said, Ian, that could have easily been 3-0 with that Kelly Smith strike. And instead, the very next play, it's 2-1, the United States. That's the beauty of soccer, isn't it?
Well, a feature of this game is, so far has been how good the long-range shooting has been. Let that one bounce. Christy Rampone deals with it in the end. Once you let it bounce, it causes a problem. And England might be looking to take advantage again. Shannon Box getting it away. And Rachel Unit getting it back. England have got quite a kind draw in the World Cup. You'd fancy them a little bit. Mexico, New Zealand and Japan are their three opponents. Even the coach is saying, well, there's no easy games. Of course, it's always tough at the World Cup, but we couldn't really have asked for anything too much better. You would fancy England to go through. They'll want to top the group, mind you, because if they don't, they'll wind up playing Germany in the quarterfinals, and you don't want to be playing the host nation at that stage.
You don't. But boy, talk about a group of life right there. That was a very favorable draw for England.
Mind you, the way they've played here, they might make any draw quite kind to them. Kelly Smith really does look quality. I think several American coaches have said, probably to you as well, that Kelly Smith would walk into the American team, wouldn't she?
No question.
Yeah.
One of the best players in the world for the good last 7 years, I would say.
Yeah, I think she was voted #3 in the world in 2009, Kelly Smith.
And that's even battling through injuries. I mean, she's had some knee issues. And you know what I like about the English squad now is with this infusion of youth in Jess Clark and Ellen White up top, the 21-year-olds, you now have a little more depth as well. That's always been an issue for the England team. So you have a Luco you could bring off the bench, who's so fast, gives you great pace up top. Anita Asante on the bench as well for England.
And all those players played in that practice match we've been talking about the other day. Only lost 2-0 with the US playing more or less their full-strength side for most of the match anyway. Lauren Cheney played very well and scored in that game, incidentally. We may see her later on. Seen very little so far of Abby Wambach in this particular match. You do wonder if she's anything like 100%, don't you?
Yeah, well, it's hard without them getting their rhythm. They can't seem to connect any of that front line and the midfield together. But give England credit for putting such pressure on ball.
Rampone gets it away. Sian Massey blows her whistle. It's going to be a minute of added time, by the way, at the end of this half. This ground holds about 9,000. Looks like we've got about half full, something like that here tonight. Not too many fans at either end of the ground, but quite a few below us on this side and on the other side as well. There's Amy Rodriguez.
As you mentioned, a couple players may come in for second half of the United States. The United States known for its depth as well. Tobin Heath is a player who could come in at flank, who's been playing very well. Lindsay Tarpley, another player. Kelly O'Hara plays for the Boston Breakers now, won the championship with FC Gold Pride last year. They've actually been trying her at left back.
Casey Stoney. This little flick on from Farrah Williams. Good awareness of what was around her. Park's control rather let her down. And Rapinoe picks it up and finds Carly Lloyd. It's a good test of character, this, for the USA. Very important the side doesn't panic when it finds itself in a corner, as it has done here tonight, no question.
Yeah, and I think that was the great thing about the whole Mexico experience and having to play Italy in the home and away, is you're put in another pressure situation and you're growing from it. Some of these players have never had that type of situation, some of the younger kids.
Nicely done by Carly Lloyd. Assesses the options. The passing looking a little slicker now. Confidence growing. Shannon Box plays this in. England scramble that one away. Maybe England will be happy to hear that half-time whistle now go in with the lead. Yankee. Right for Rachel Unit. Those two who play their club soccer together. O'Reilly. And Lloyd again. It's a terrific ball for Rapinoe. The goal scorer taking on Alex Scott. Lapelbet. There's O'Reilly to pick the ball up again. Very dangerous right-sided player, Heather O'Reilly. Real turn of foot, which is what you need, of course, as a winger. That is half-time. Fascinating stuff, surprising stuff. Rachel Yankee scored a terrific second goal for England, but then Megan Rapinoe putting the United States back into the argument. 2-1 it is at half-time. Fascinating game. That was the first goal scored by Jess Clark. That was Yankees one. And then Rapinoe. 2-1 at the break. Rejoin us in a moment.
In East London, this goal by Rachel Yankee in the 26th minute, putting the U.S. back on their heels, down by 2 goals for the first time in 46 matches. U.S. coming back and grabbing a goal back. It is 2-1 at the half. Bob Lee, along with Brianna Scurry, Tony DeChico, as we look at the USA team back on its heels. And we said this would be a test right now, not necessarily a passing grade. Let's look at how England not only took the lead on the scoreboard, but tackled it, Tony. Let's start in the 8th minute. Jess Clark gets the goal here, but they attacked on the left side.
Well, Krieger gets beat. She can't get beat that easily. And then a little bit of a loose ball. Kelly Smith does a good job keeping Amy Lapelbet off it. And Clark finishes an opportunistic chance. You can see how Krieger gets beat on her inside, and that's a no-no for an outside defender. And here's Clark.
Right there, 8th minute. Now, Brian, the second goal came against the run of play here. Rachel Yankee and Kelly really got her going.
Exactly. At the top of the broadcast, we had mentioned how important it would be for the U.S. midfield to get into the play, and right then they exposed them. Yes, England exposed them, and that's exactly what happened on the goal.
And here is Rapinoe, Megan Rapinoe in the 39th minute.
That's a big goal for the USA because they don't feel that bad going into the locker room 2-1 because England was better in the first half. So Rapinoe kind of saved them a bit. I think you'll see the USA better in the second half.
But pressure, Brian, down the left side from England against the right back Krieger, and also that wide open expanse in the U.S. midfield, because the U.S. midfield, as we heard in the pregame, they have the green light to go, go, go. Well, as they go, there's all that room left defensively.
Absolutely. England is completely taking advantage of what the U.S. is giving them. They're giving them a lot of space and a lot of time, and so the England team is using that by spreading them out to the width and then bringing it back to the middle and being able to get open chances.
Got to imagine, Tony, around the world, Brazil's taking notes, Germany's taking notes, Sweden's taking notes. What are they writing down?
Well, one thing they're writing down is the USA is playing against a three-front that's very active. Clark, Yankee, and I like Ellen White in the center. She's putting a lot of pressure. So you're seeing a U.S. defense that looks pretty nervous, just clearing balls, and consequently the midfield isn't getting a hold of any balls, and England has been better in this game.
They are playing. It's the first time the United States has ever played England in England. This is the 11th meeting, but it has been 6.5 years since the United States has lost a friendly. These are not friendly. This is the business end of the World Cup for the United States, and 87 days, June 28th against North Korea in Dresden, from the match against Colombia, and then Sweden. All the action on ESPN and ESPN2 as we get set to send you towards the second half. In a second, we'll look at the U.S. prospects. Right now, they trail at the half in London. the United States. This the Group C. Not necessarily the toughest group, maybe not the group of death, but United States ranked #1 in the world, trailing at halftime right now. North Korea, Colombia, and Sweden. And you look at number 31, Colombia. Tony, you were just telling us, don't look down your nose at this Colombian side. And that group is more than tough.
Well, Colombia is better than you think. I would put them on the level of Mexico. So we saw what happened with USA-Mexico. But what's tough about North Korea is you can't scout them. They don't play anywhere. So to play them first in group play is really a disadvantage because you're playing them without really a sound scouting report.
Right. You never know what you're going to get a lot of times with these groups. And like Tony had mentioned, the U.S. is going to be able to see some of the other teams, but not going to be able to see North Korea. And so it's going to be interesting to see how we start off.
Once again, the United States team, though, losing to Mexico in Cancun, had to come back and defeat Costa Rica, earning the right to go to Italy and then win against Italy outside Chicago. Crawling by the fingertips into this World Cup. Nobody expected the U.S. to have to do that. And now down 2-1 to England. Admittedly, England, yes, a good side. They're in the World Cup. How worried should U.S. fans and U.S. soccer firmament be about this team?
I think the most important thing right now is for the U.S. to get that early goal as quickly as they can. As soon as they can get into the game, get it tied up, that'll show their mentality, that'll show their fight and their grit, and then that will be able to even the playing field for them, and they can move on from there. And that's what they can take from this game if they can get it tied up again.
Before that goal, what should we look for before that goal happens to see that the U.S. is on all cylinders?
Well, win or lose, the USA has some big question marks. So they might come back, and I expect them to come back and win this game, but they can't go down 2-0 in the World Cup and expect to get results.
All right, well, the U.S. was down 2-1. It's the first time, as we said, in a long time, 46 matches down multiple goals. They're down 1 goal. Megan Rapinoe in the 39th minute, closing it down. Ian and Julie in a moment.
Welcome back. Completed this week, London's 2012 Olympic Stadium. The soccer finals will not be played there. They'll be played at the even more prestigious Wembley. The US will hope to be there, but they'll need to improve on what they've done tonight, won't they, Julie?
Yeah, a little bit jittery tonight. But you know what? They're making some changes. Hope Solo is coming in for her first game in 8 months. Lepelbet is out at left back. Stephanie Cox is in. So, and she's keeping her midfield, Pia Sundhagen, which I like, actually, because she's saying, okay, figure it out. It's time to figure it out in the midfield.
So we're away for the second half here. Remember, England in the all-white strip. What has Pia Sundhagen said at half-time? Will she be able to affect some change? Hope Solo, what a big, big moment for the goalkeeper, who told us yesterday, didn't she? She thought her career might even be over at the top level. So what's going through her mind? Back in goal for the first time since last July. The operation was in September. It's been a long, long and painful road to recovery.
Talk about a tough situation to come into as well. You know, you haven't played in that long, and then on top of that, you're trying to get your team back in this game.
Alex Scott, who loves to overlap from that right back position, but stopped straight away by Cox, who's come into the operation for the United States. That left back place is up for grabs, and I think here Steph Cox has a wonderful chance to state her case, because Amy Lepelbet's been carrying this injury, and it wasn't an easy first half for her against a fairly rampant Jess Clark on the right hand side.
And there's a good look at the foul they just called on Faye White. But yeah, and Amy Lepelbet, as we mentioned at the top of the game, isn't familiar with that left back position.
Boula's clever little ball, nicely worked all this. Amy Rodriguez has got a chance here. Splendid save there. It really was from Karen Bardsley. That was one really for the photographers, wasn't it?
And here's another good look at it. Well played in. They're just going to slot it back, find a seam, and surprising that Amy Rodriguez actually has that much time on the ball. Nice little first touch. Gets it on frame. Good save by Karen Bardsley. Especially in traffic. So many of those can take deflections easily, as you know, Ian.
She does some coaching, doesn't she, at the University of San Diego. Karen Bardsley, the England goalkeeper, obviously thinks her chances are better of getting some World Cup action with England than the USA. It was Ellen White. You could see what she was trying to do, pick up Jess Clark's run.
She sure is lively, though. That's what I like about Ellen White. She's constantly pressuring on both sides of the ball. Active.
Scored against Italy in the Cyprus Cup, where England only finished 5th. They had a couple of setbacks, losing to Scotland for the first time in 34 years, and to Canada as well. They're a bit unlucky by all accounts in that one. Alex Scott doing the defending and doing it rather cleverly in the end as well. ESPN's presentation of US soccer brought to you by Allstate. Protecting families with life insurance for over 50 years. Are you in good hands?
Another good test tonight for the English side is whether they can sustain this for 90 minutes. That's been a problem of theirs in the past. They just can't string two halves together. They don't have the depth. They don't have the gas to do it.
Can they close the show?
Exactly.
Yeah. Do they have the belief to think they can go on and beat the United States? It's a little bit awkward that for Christy Rampone.
There again is that pressure by Ellen White.
She's everywhere, isn't she? Chaser of lost causes, and you sometimes need that. Here's Kelly Smith again. Nice looking ball. Not the tallest. Jess Clark was unlikely to win the header, really. There was a bit of pushing and shoving going on anyway. And it's the US's ball. Haven't lost a friendly, the USA, and Pia Sundhage will know this, since you were playing, Julie. 2004 it was.
That may have been the reason, actually. That's amazing statistic, really, when you think about it.
It is.
The sport of soccer, how many times is just that you have a bad game or you get a bad bounce or whatever happens? It really is amazing.
Since the last World Cup, the USA have won 63 times, lost only 3 with 6 draws. But they trail by 2 goals to 1 here against a much improved England. Nicely done that by Shannon Box. She's 33 now, scored in her first 3 games for the USA. She was telling me the other day after practice, and rather self-deprecatingly said they've all dried up since then. Good player, though.
Great player. Great player that is just your warrior in the middle. You want your battler in there. And that's where they've given Carly the license to go, because Shannon just holds in there and cleans things up for her.
She made her debut at 25, Shannon Box, for the national side, which is a surprising one. It's well won back by Rachel Yankee, who's taken the eye for England tonight. That's nicely done too by Farrah Williams. Clearly sees a pass, makes herself available all the time in there. I thought at times in that first half the USA were getting outnumbered in the centre of midfield by England's 3 in there.
Yeah, when they had just Boxy and Carly in the middle, they were surrounded by that triangle of 3 in the middle and really struggled with that. Playing essentially numbers down in the center there.
Which begs the question, will they sometimes have to be a little more flexible and not just play 4-4-2 ad nauseum?
And Pia is a huge fan of that, a very Scandinavian type of rigid 4-4-2. She doesn't change it up much. Not even where you'd say, okay, let's pinch in our outside midfielders to try and help Shannon and Box and Carly Lloyd a little bit in the middle where their numbers down with that 3.
And against that, you do want to be playing this late in the World Cup preparation. You don't want to be changing too much. The players are obviously comfortable with this system.
Yeah, but you also, as you pointed out, Ian, want to be flexible.
In mid-game sometimes as well.
Switching formations, going to a 3 front if you need to put pressure on the backs.
One of those fascinating things, really. The game's always evolving tactically. Coaches coming up with new ideas, and it's up to other coaches to counter or improve on them. England continuing to look lively here. Played deep towards Ellen White. There's Carly Lloyd. That's not like her. Possession rather squandered. Kelly Smith. Well, one back by Rampone, and now Heather O'Reilly.
There's another one by Carly Lloyd. She's just not able to connect and settle him down for the United States tonight.
More trouble here. Bula manages to mop it up in the nick of time. It's Abby Wambach. So far, she hasn't really had a chance to add to her impressive goal tally. Maybe only a matter of time before we see the likes of Alex Morgan, who the other day in that game before the game, if you like, the practice match between these two sides, came on and scored almost with her first touch.
She's been remarkable off the bench. And some big goals. The Italian goal in the first leg of the playoff to get into the World Cup, beating Italy 1-0 in Italy in injury time.
Yankee taking on Ali Krieger. Been a difficult night for Krieger. She plays with half the German national side for her club in Germany. Little warning here from Sian Massey for Yankee, and this is why.
I'm not sure I see much in that, actually.
No.
I think that's just good fight for the ball. Here's another good look at it. Both of them are kind of coming in. I think that's one of those you say, okay, play on.
Don't forget, Saturday, April the 16th, the date definitely for your diaries. It's Barcelona against Real Madrid. Again, coverage of El Clasico presented by Bud Light, beginning at 3 Eastern, 2 weeks from today. The first match in the league this season, Barcelona were just spellbinding and won by 5 goals to 0. US defence under a little bit of pressure again. It's been a big test for that defence tonight.
They're really struggling with the pressure the 3 forwards of England are putting on them.
Scott, that might have fallen for Jess Clark. One of the youngsters on the far side, it didn't quite.
And I like that tactic because you see so many teams nowadays, Ian, that just drop off and go into that 4-5-1 shell and play condensed and keep it compact. And they're just going. They're pressing that back line, and the 4 on the back line for United States really having a tough time with it.
Can the USA do anything here? Here's Wambach. Carly Lloyd. Amy Rodriguez looking to spin in behind. Nothing doing again. Box won it back for the USA. Rapinoe goes to the ground, wanted a free kick. She's not going to get that. And here's Ellen White again. Busy, quite dynamic as the central striker. This is played towards Kelly Smith. And England starting the first half rather like they did the second half, rather like they did the first, Julie.
I really like Farrah Williams in the middle of the field there. She's the one who just sent that ball wide. For people just tuning in at home, great little creative central midfielder.
You like midfield players, don't you? I wonder why.
I do have to give them some love, as you may have noticed.
It's a tough place to play, all right.
And I wonder if Hope Powell has said, Hope Solo is in goal for the first time in eight months. Let's take some looks at her. Let's try things from outside. Test her a little bit. You haven't seen much of that yet from the English side.
Yeah, I'm surprised if they hadn't made that point, in fact. It's going to be too long, even for Rachel Yankee to chase. By the way, the host club tonight, Leyton Orient, lost just across the River Thames from here at Charlton this afternoon by 3 goals to 1. So 1 or 2 long faces among the locals when we walked in, but they've done quite well this season in the 3rd tier. O'Reilly lays it back. It's helped forward towards Wambach again. A good thing for the United States is they still do have the best part of 3 months before the World Cup begins. That will include a couple of games against Japan for certain, one other friendly yet to be confirmed.
On June 5th.
Yeah. Bula, she was used at left back in those playoff games against Italy, moved to the centre.
Yeah, that was more tinkering they were doing at that left back position, and that's when Amy Lepelvet was healthier. She was playing that center back. It wasn't until she went out with her knee injury, Amy Lepelvet, that they tried the Rachel Bueller, Christy Rampone combination back in the middle, and Pia said to us yesterday, it was so good I didn't want to mix that up. I didn't want to change that. But I want Amy Lepelvet on the field, so I'm going to give her a shot at left back.
This, of course, is the US post the Christine Lilly, Mia Hamm, and dare I say it, Julie Foudy era. Hit long towards the back post, and who was back defending? The striker, Ellen White.
On Abby Wambach. Not happy that they decided it was a corner kick on that, but it seems to have come off her head there. Abby will always be a target for the United States. She'll line up on that back post often alongside Shannon Box. She got some really good Carly Lloyd players in the air for the United States on these set pieces.
Back in again by Rapinoe. It wasn't really the best idea, that one, as it turned out.
And it's interesting because the few they've had, they've been trying to drive near post, not really even finding those players. So service a bit of a problem tonight. They don't have much space on that side, as you can see as well.
It was just a little wasted on that occasion by Megan Rapinoe. The England supporters here beginning to get a little excited about this scoreline and wondering whether England can hold on to score what would be one of the biggest wins in women's soccer history in this part of the world. USA, of course, have other ideas. Cox inside towards Shannon Box, who did well to regain possession. There are 6 substitutions allowed. I don't think we'll see that many. This has been played like a fully fledged, full-out match rather than a friendly. That's good to see. You want that intensity, don't you?
Oh, yeah. And with just a few months to go before the big dance, you expect that. Because really, both of these teams go and play with their leagues. You've got the English New Super League. You've got the Women's Professional Soccer League in the United States, and so they only have the 2 games for the United States in May. England has one against Sweden, they said, in May. US has another send-off in June, as you mentioned, but not many opportunities to get together as a group.
Just past the hour mark, still England 2, the United States 1. England were 2 goals up before Megan Rapinoe got one back. Now they're hunting an equaliser. Rapinoe from distance. Power, not accuracy.
And I think similar to what Farrah Williams was trying to shoot from this distance, is just a bit optimistic with the goalkeepers you have in goal. Karen Bardsley for England, very tall, very capable with that distance.
Substitution for the USA. Coming on, number 20, Abby Wambach.
This substitution fueled by Gatorade, and off comes Abby Wambach, and this is now the biggest goal drought in her American soccer career. The previous one was 6 years ago, and she hasn't ended it tonight. Lauren Cheney coming on, so the slight worries over Wambach and her fitness continue. It's not really what the coach would have wanted tonight.
No, and there are some worries. I mean, she has some clear pain when she's playing consecutive minutes. And for your goal scorer that has been so prolific in the past, any setback like that is troubling with only 3 months to go.
Heather O'Reilly won the ball back, but England hunting it down. There might be what the goalkeeper's come here and had to win that. She did too. It's important. Krieger's control was absolutely exemplary there. Terrific piece of play.
Beautiful first touch.
Yeah, the new right back. It's only her 15th cap tonight. Ali Krieger, who's ending her German career to concentrate on her international career for the moment.
And you know, really one of the strengths of Ali Krieger at right back is she loves to go forward. But because the U.S. is having such a hard time getting possession, she hasn't had the opportunity.
But of course, Heather Mitts may yet be fit for the World Cup. She's going to join the camp in Florida. No joy tonight for Abby, who needs to go back to the bench. Flicked on neatly. Ellen White. She's been a live wire, the Arsenal player.
I like that she's so present too. Good little first touch there. Tried to create a half chance for herself. You can see why there's so much attention on her right now. 21 years old.
Only made her debut for England last year, Ellen White, so quite a discovery. Box doing well, but still good pressure by England. Here's Cheney. Scored with a header in that 2-0 practice match the other day. Good header it was too, and she looked lively as well in the second half, particularly Lauren Cheney. Plays for Boston Breakers, Kelly Smith's club. Ooh, don't try that one at home.
I love when keepers do that.
The coaches don't. Their hearts miss several beats, I think. Probably the defenders too, if the truth be told. It's been given away by England. And the shot is a long way wide from Heather O'Reilly, the right winger, who's appeared in all but one of the last 68 games for the USA. That's quite a record, isn't it?
Very consistent, and you know what you're going to get out of Heather O'Reilly. She's going to bring this incredible work rate. Only concern for me is how much she gets into the run of play. There's another good look at Karen Bardsley doing very calmly. No problem, coach. She waves over to the bench.
Really? Don't forget, the 2011 FIFA Women's World Cup's almost here. A reminder that coverage begins on June the 26th. That's June the 26th on ESPN, ESPN2 and ESPN3.com. Cheney for the USA here. It's fed wide, not a good cross, easily cut out by the impressive Farrah Williams. Pino looking to use a bit of trickery, and then Amy Rodriguez. That's not too much of a look in tonight so far. Rodriguez against a well-organized defense.
I was saying about Heather O'Reilly, one of the concerns I have is she seems to fade away in some of these games, and you don't see enough out of her where she's going at the back line. Even though that shot didn't come off right, at least I like the initiative she's taking.
Do have the option, of course, of Lindsay Tarpley maybe to come on there. England are going to make another substitution shortly, but before that, here's the latest American attack with Heather O'Reilly down the right-hand side. That's not bad.
Yeah, much better.
Danger there. It was Farrah Williams who got it away. I think you made an excellent point, Julie, whether England can hold out here. What is their belief, fitness, confidence like after looking very bright for a long time in this match? We're in the last quarter of it now. Here's Rapinoe with the corner. Oh, there's a chance, maybe there, and it comes back in. Rampone's shot was blocked, and then it's turned over the bar by Bula. Both the central defenders involved.
And that's one thing you're going to see from the United States, Ian, over and over again. Regardless of how they're playing, they're going to grind out games. You know, they're going to go 90 minutes. And here, you're getting another look. It's probably not the prettiest, but someone's going to try and keep it alive. And then just, unfortunately, falls to the feet of a center back who leans back a little bit and doesn't get it on frame.
Faye White is coming off here. And Sophie Bradley is introduced here to win only her 4th cap. Another of the Lincoln ladies players who only made her debut last August for England. So she's another of the new crop. And I know the coach, Hope Powell, has a very, very high opinion of her. Ellen White does well. Kelly Smith. Here's trouble for the USA, maybe. It's a clever little ball, Jess Clark, and very well played by Hope Solo. That's going to lift her confidence.
Yeah, well off her line, quick off her line. Good little play by Hope. And Kelly, she draws everyone that way. So clever. Tries to just pull it in on the backside.
Here's Carly Lloyd. Well challenged by Kelly Smith. Rachel Yankee assessing the options, very composed in possession. That's not a bad ball. It's found its way through to Ellen White. Bouncing around dangerously in there, laid back here towards Jill Scott. Jess Clark closing in on it. Cox got it away, but not very far. The alarm continues here for the USA.
Tonight's attendance is 5,801.
It's a pretty good crowd here tonight, much more than expected. 5,801, and here comes the super sub. Alex Morgan, who scored the famous goal in Italy, which knows the USA ahead. Megan Rapinoe is being replaced here. We're also going to see Heath Tobin. She'll go up to play on the left side where Rapinoe was playing for certain. Off comes Amy Rodriguez and Alex Morgan comes on. So we've now seen all 4 of the striking options for the USA. Tobin Heath is on for the USA to play on the left-hand side. Cheney lays it off.
And Tobin has struggled through the last 2 years of injury, illness. They still haven't, she had an illness they still don't understand in terms of what it was. She's just now coming back, and it's great to see her back in form because she brings a spark, which you'll see, into that outside flank position. Loves to take on, very good on the ball, good speed and pace.
Rachel Unit under pressure. It's a problem, and it's put wide of the post. Big chance for Heather O'Reilly to equalise, not taken. Big moment in the game.
And this is one of those as a player you want back because you know you should finish these. What a gift that is. Karen Bardsley does well to come out and cut that angle down a little bit, but Unit really misplaces this, and that's a goal that the United States should have as an equalizer. Heather O'Reilly trying to bend it in with that left foot.
England really a little lucky there. Now then, Kelly Smith is in here behind. Can't finish of it. It's a let-off, really, for the USA. Kelly Smith holds her head in her hands.
And again, on the other side, she knows just as well. Here's another great opportunity to change the momentum of the game back towards England. Missed opportunity.
Could be quite a finish here. Alex Scott for England. Tobin Heath doing well over on that side. She made a good contribution in the practice match the other night, which the USA did win comfortably enough in the end by 2-0. Morgan, by the way, who's come on, has made a great start in her USA career with 7 goals in her first 15 international matches.
Yeah. We said when we talked to her yesterday, are the expectations changing a little bit? And she says, yes, yes, but I'm still happy with where I am. I just want to come in and run at players. I like that Pia just expects that of me. Just go in and give me 20 minutes and run as hard as you can.
I think this is going to become a real battle now, because American pride will be wounded by the current scoreline. Not what they were expecting. But the England support here tonight, rather enjoying this. Farrah Williams helping it forward. Shannon Box. Good turn from Cheney into space. Cleverly done that was. Morgan with the cross. Nobody really attacking the near post. Not with enough conviction anyway to help her out there. Otherwise there might have been a little flick for somebody there, getting across the defenders.
And you can see the benefit of Lauren Cheney, number 12 for the United States. Immediately when she comes in, she's holding the ball for the United States. You didn't see that out of Abby Wambach in the first half, and Lauren comes in and changes the balance of the game and the tempo of the game.
Carly Lloyd turns, tries to find a bit of room for one of those dynamic shots she has, and gets a free kick. Farrah Williams is furious with the referee for giving that. It looked a bit on the soft side, but it's a free kick here in a good position for the USA.
And here's a good look at it. It looks like she gets all ball. It might have been that second one. She gets a little bit of her leg. But these are definitely free kicks. As a coach on the sidelines, you are dreading, especially when you have someone like Carly Lloyd who can hit it as hard as she can. You don't want to give up free kicks around your box, obviously.
Can she get it past that wall? It is Carly Lloyd. Another chance, took a deflection. This time it was Shannon Box trying to cash in on the rebound here.
Should have been a corner.
Yes.
That's the second one she's missed. You can see the United States thinking the same thing.
You do wonder how the referee missed that. It's pretty clear cut. Off comes Rachel Yankee, but she scored a memorable goal tonight. Karen Carney is introduced into the action. Scored in the European Championship final against Germany. Carney.
Hardy's just coming back from injury. She's had a knee that's been bothering her. Just had one game back, so trying to find her fitness.
Inside the final 15 minutes of this game now. Carney on to win her 59th cap for England. Kelly Smith. Tobin Heath managing to get in the way. The USA here. Can they pull this back? It's been a hard night in East London. First ever visit of the USA to these shores. And I think they'll remember it. Lloyd. Driving at the heart of that defense. Good shot. Goalkeeper doesn't hold it. Morgan, can she strike again? Not quite. Player down injured, which is why the ball's been hit out of play. It's Rachel Unit.
And there's a good look at Carly Lloyd. She can put some pace on that ball. And what I like about Alex Morgan is she's always around the ball. Similar to what we saw with Chicharito with Manchester United today. Really good sense of where she should be. Here's the Rachel Unit injury.
That looked painful, didn't it? You could feel that one from here almost. Yeah. Carly Lloyd's playing well now, isn't she?
And you're seeing the United States take more risks. You're in the last 15 minutes of game. You know, I would have wished it would have come earlier, in fact, and taken a little bit more chances, but sending more of their outside backs, holding the ball a little bit better.
I wondered if Alex Morgan was going to strike again. She was telling us that story of all the goals she scored as a girl. Her father promising her some money every time, and it all ended up with her getting a Lexus car. That's all right.
It wasn't just for goals, it was for grades as well.
And good behavior.
Good behavior.
All that. Okay.
I said I got a 1970s VW Bug out of it. That's how much money I raised.
I think I would have got a moped for my goal scoring, if that. Oh, that's given away. O'Reilly inside towards Lloyd. There's a danger that England will score on the counter. That's Carney feeding the ball out wide to Jess Clark, who just loses possession. One or two mistakes beginning to creep in. Oh, goalkeeper's not got that. And Morgan was nearly in business again.
And there she is again. I mean, that's what I love about her. She's always around the goal. Present.
Youngest player in the squad, Alex Morgan. And the US need a goal from her now because it's getting pretty late here. Cheney doing well again. Couldn't quite cut the ball back for Tobin Heath. There's a bit of fatigue, I think, though, just pulling at the muscles now late on in the game, and that might have an influence. We've already seen that big mistake from Rachel Unit, which nearly let in Heather O'Reilly, who's on the ball again here now.
Yeah, and that's where the United States just pounces. You know, they're known for their fitness. They can go 90 minutes. You're seeing a stronger Carly Lloyd now, stronger Heather O'Reilly.
By the way, the US have so far made 5 substitutions, England only 2 so far. Farrah Williams to Casey Stoney. Important for England, really, now that their concentration holds. They will be under pressure. The United States trying to avoid what would be a very rare defeat. That's a nicely measured ball, very well played by Jill Scott. Ellen White. Heather O'Reilly, great ball, brilliant ball. Morgan's in here, and it's wide. Fantastic pass, though, from Heather O'Reilly, perhaps the pass of the match.
What a great ball this is. Plays it right into her step. She doesn't really even have to adjust her run. Good first touch, too, by Alex Morgan to bring it down, and she sees there's a gap there. Just off, bending outside instead of the other way. Good effort all around, though, by the United States.
Ten minutes remaining. Might be a long 10 minutes for England. The US now asking some serious questions. There might be other chances. The goalkeeper again coming off her line. Why? You wondered there, really. Way out on the edge of the penalty area.
And you can see the pace on the back line for the English squad becomes a question mark for them. It's something that a lot of people have pointed to and said this is an area of weakness, especially when they get tired in the final minutes of a match.
Here comes the corner kick, curling under that bar. That's well tipped over by Karen Barsley, who could afford to take no chances. Did she get anything on it, though? Did it just go straight over on its own?
This is, again, I think...
Oh, maybe it hit the top of the bar.
Hit the bar. I was going to say, maybe this was another missed corner. No, I think it hit the top of the bar.
Yep.
That was a good call.
Yeah, I think the referee's got that right. Optical illusion time. Saturday, April the 16th. Note the date. ESPN Deportes brings you one of soccer's top rivalries. Barcelona against Real Madrid again. El Clasico, presented by Bud Light, beginning at 3 Eastern, 2 weeks from today. That, I promise you, is not a match you would want to miss. Mr. Messi and Mr. Ronaldo, among others. Kelly Smith wide for Karen Carney for England. Krieger does the covering. Plenty to ponder, really, for Pia Sundhage and the American coaching team after this. However, it turns out Carney, whistle's gone, flags up.
Carney's another player the United States very familiar with. Played with the Chicago Red Stars of the WPS.
Stoney went up for the header, didn't win it. O'Reilly again. Well, it's not what we were expecting to see exactly, is it, this tonight? It's like Faye White's got an injury, which really is pretty much a subplot at the moment. Good ball in behind. Morgan must have been just offside. That was close. But her movement's good and her instincts are good up there. Real poacher's instinct, as you were saying, Julie.
And you can see Lauren Cheney able to find her. They've got a good little rhythm. There's a good look at it. I think she's just off. Good call by the referee. You can see her trying to shave it tight on that line coming back. England playing an aggressive line, and it's worked out so far for them tonight. Stepping up their back pretty aggressively. They're back 4.
So far, Hope Solo on her return to the side. It's a shutout for her anyway. England's 2 goals coming in the first half when she wasn't on the pitch. Smith again, everything she does has a touch of intelligence and wit about it. Jess Clark takes on Cox on that side. The last time the US lost a friendly was November the 6th, 2004 against Denmark. Yes, that long ago. 52 unbeaten since, but that record is under serious threat now as the clock runs down. But wait a minute, here is Tobin Heath towards Morgan, who took that in a stride pretty well. Alex Scott did her job well for England, who are just holding on a little, not desperately now, but certainly under increasing pressure.
Again, though, Alex Scott in position. I just wish you'd see a little bit more of the team behind her. I wish you saw the outside backs taking some chances for the United States, really getting some numbers forward, especially when you have 5 minutes to go. Throw some numbers at them, take some chances.
Big chances, and you've got to gamble now, haven't you?
No question.
And there will be people asking, I'm sure, sitting at home, devotees of the women's national side, they'll be saying, well, is this team really good enough to seriously consider winning the World Cup with the likes of Germany and Brazil and maybe 1 or 2 others around? It's been hard labour in many ways for them tonight here against an England side with plenty of belief. I think you'd make the point too, though, that tonight's not the night, is it? It's June when it matters.
No, and you always want these moments to happen. If they're going to happen, you want them to happen before the World Cup, because what a great reminder of things you need to work on.
Certainly wipe away any complacency there might have been. Not that there should have been too much after what happened against Mexico. Krieger does well. It's tough, tenacious right back, and that's a good ball too for Heather O'Reilly. Morgan and Heath waiting in the middle. Cheney, plenty to aim at now. Doesn't manage to find a blue shirt. Smith again. Very, very rarely wastes the ball.
She's
Kelly
so clever
Smith.
at just finding space too, creating space for herself.
Morgan. Oh, it's a great effort, just wide, but she's been so lively since she's come on.
And again, it was on her favored left foot too. You can see when she winds up with that left foot, she can get a hold of it. That one's close. Here's another good look at it. She picks up the missed ball. Oh, just wide. I like the initiative she's taken, though. She's not even looking for the pass. It's, I'm going to make my move, find my window, and crack it.
A little unlucky a couple of times, Alex Morgan. Here's Kelly Smith again. She's oozed quality, really, tonight. Farrah Williams. By the way, Kelly Smith, the only England women's player ever to be invited into what I suppose is the English equivalent of Letterman, the Jonathan Ross show. And
how'd she do?
Yeah, very entertaining spot she did too.
Did she?
That's good for the women's game that
You have someone of that
kind of
caliber.
kind of spot can be engineered. And Hope Powell can be proud of the way the England side have played here tonight. They go to Scotland for a few days after this. The American players, before going home, there's a training camp in Florida to come. Now then, chance of an equaliser here, maybe.
You can see Shannon Box is standing next to Ellen White. We're going to get a wide shot of that. No one's really picking her up yet. There, Ellen's got her.
Tobin Heath plays it in, goes right across the face of goal. It only needed a touch. Christy Rampone, the skipper, was up there as well. She's only ever scored 4 international goals in those 234 caps. That would have been a very fine time to get the 5th. But England are nearly there. And this will be a shock result. Everybody else around the women's game will sit up and take notice if they see this scoreline seeping through. England with Karen Carney. Play's going to be pulled back again. America now can ill afford to waste any further time. They need to be getting on with this, and quickly. Yeah, getting on towards the final chapter of this. Is there to be some late drama? Morgan. Sophie Bradley with the clearance. England looking a little tired as well. They might be, because it's been an energetic shift that they've put in here. Very carefully on. And again, shooting pretty much way off target on that occasion from Cheney.
Shannon just flicking it on, Lauren. Trying to get it in over Karen Bardsley, who's a little bit off her line.
In matches in Europe, Pia Sundhage's record before this was 12 wins, no losses, and 1 draw. Is that about to become 1 defeat on the record?
There you see it, the 3 minutes, and boy, what a win this would be for England, Ian, as you pointed out. Talk about confidence. They've always wondered if they can do it against the bigger teams. Obviously, it's not a World Cup.
Jill Scott helps it on towards Ellen White. Yes, need to get back on the ball, and pretty quickly. They have a chance here with Ali Krieger. O'Reilly. How much of a dent to confidence would this be for the US, were they to fall in this one? Here's O'Reilly again. Good work. Off Stoney. It's a corner kick, and this might be one of the last opportunities the US have here to rescue this game.
You can see they're sending everyone up, minus Ali Krieger, who's staying back.
Carly Lloyd on the left foot, chance, hit it well. It was on its way. Unit blocked it, crucially. Lloyd again needs to get the cross in. She's managed to dig that one out. The goalkeeper holds it. Important she did as well.
In traffic as well. Nice hold. There she's got a lot of traffic around her. Well held by Karen Bardsley.
American-born goalkeeper denying the American team. Not for the first time tonight. Lloyd. Morgan trying to make something happen. Casey Stoney got it away. Maybe the England women's team, who do struggle for publicity on this side of the Atlantic, will get a little if they can finish off a win against the world-ranked #1 side here. Might persuade a few more people to send reporters out to cover them at the World Cup. They deserve it. Back in towards Morgan. Good flick on by her. Box breaks into the penalty area. Nothing given. And to be honest, it didn't look much like a penalty either.
No, I agree with that. Here's another look at it. I think that's a good no call by the referee.
By and large, the well-publicised Sian Massey, the referee's had a good night here. He's on the Premier League roster as assistant official. It's hit long towards Cheney and O'Reilly. Frustration for the US, desperate to get the ball back again. Flags up here, this will be offside. But that is the full-time whistle. The USA's run of 52 unbeaten friendlies going back to November the 6th, 2004, when they lost to Denmark, has been ended by England, who score one of the most remarkable results in women's soccer history on this side of the Atlantic. Jess Clark with the first goal, Rachel Yankee with a splendid second, Megan Rapinoe got one back for the USA, but it wasn't enough. It's a shocker. Julie, what's your verdict?
I think the timing, actually, for England, what a confidence boost, but for the United States, a great opportunity to say, okay, we're all right, though. We got a couple months out, not our best game. Let's fix it now. Better to happen now than, obviously, at the World Cup. And can England put on that performance during a World Cup? That will be the big question mark. But you got to give England a lot of credit for the way they played today. Very well done.
Plenty to talk about in the studio now with Bob Lee.
Thank you, Ian and Julie. Of course, Brianna Scurry, Tony Pacheco are with me. And yes, a bit of history. First time since 1988. The United States have lost to England. And yes, 87 days until the U.S. begins its play in FIFA Women's World Cup 2011. But the U.S. behind, playing from behind, Tony, and staying with that 4-4-2. It was a different second half. Second half was better, but still not a result tonight.
Well, you've made two comments there. It was better in the second half. I thought O'Reilly was dangerous. I thought the substitutes did well, Cheney and Morgan and Tobin Heath. But when you're behind, you can use this as a World Cup tune-up, maybe take out a defender, throw in another attacking personality, and go for the win. But it was better for the second half for the USA.
But that decision to stay 4-4-2, playing from behind, and that is the system that Pia Sundhage is with, believes in, long balls. We talked at halftime about the gaps in the midfield. We saw more cohesion in the second half, but still not able to, we saw some opportunities, but no equalizer.
We definitely saw the tale of two halves. The first half, England's midfield controlled the play. They set the tempo, they controlled the play. They got players wide, balls to the middle, score. Second half, U.S. controlled the tempo. Their midfield got the play, balls wide. Great opportunities. Unfortunately, weren't able to capitalize on them. I feel that the U.S. has to control that midfield in order to be successful from here going forward.
But even more than that, Bri, I mean, the U.S. team needs to possess the ball more. I mean, one thing the U.S. team has, it has some personalities, but they're not getting set up properly with the ball. It's more, as Bob said, long ball. It's hard work, and the U.S. is always going to put in the hard work, but there's got to be more possession to break down the opponent and expose what I think is a weak defense for England.
Where is this team in its preparation right now for this World Cup, do you think? I mean, obviously they're not where they want to be, but how far away? I mean, less than 3 months now. Where do you want to be, and where are they?
Never count the U.S. out. This result isn't exactly the result they wanted. However, there's plenty of time to make corrections, changes, to figure out how it is they're going to play moving forward. I think the key for this team is to take this first half, dissect it, see what went wrong, what went well, how they changed it in the second half, and move forward from there. Just leave it there once they figure it out and move on.
A lot to look at, a lot to make notes, a lot to dissect. We've got more to talk about. First time in nearly 6.5 years, the United States have lost a friendly. This, the winner, U.S. the decider against them by a woman named Yankee, believe it or not, in London town.